Flying connects people and economies, but it also produces CO2 emissions. To address this, the global aviation industry is committed to net zero CO2 emissions by 2050, using a mix of cleaner fuels, smarter operations, new technology, and, where needed, high-quality carbon offsets. Offsetting allows airlines to compensate for some emissions by funding verified emissions reduction elsewhere. This is particularly important for aviation, as alternatives to fossil fuels are not mature yet. CORSIA, the Carbon Offsetting and Reduction Scheme for International Aviation, is the UN's program that helps airlines offset a portion of their emissions from international flights. Under CORSIA, airlines buy special credits called Eligible Emissions Units, EEUs. Each one represents 1 ton of CO2 reduced, avoided, or removed by a certified project. So, how does it work? Imagine a rainforest in Guyana, quietly absorbing carbon dioxide. Local communities, authorities, and project developers recognize an opportunity to preserve the forest and to generate income by doing so. But protecting a rainforest isn't free. It requires resources for things like ranger patrols, fire prevention, monitoring, and supporting local communities who keep the forest standing. That's where generating carbon credits for protecting the forest makes sense. To make sure these credits are valid, the project must show that it's doing more than what would normally happen. This is called additionality. It starts by looking at past forest loss, how much logging or damage happened before, and using that as a starting point, called the baseline. If new actions like stronger protection or better forest management lead to less forest loss than expected, that's considered an extra benefit. That extra benefit is what earns carbon credits. This work is carefully checked by independent experts through a structured process of third-party validation and registry tracking to make sure the carbon savings are real and lasting. Once approved, the project earns carbon credits that can be sold. But these credits aren't EEUs yet. The government of Guyana now decides, should these credits count toward the country's own climate goals or be set aside for international aviation? If they choose aviation, the government issues a special letter of authorization. Only then do the credits become EEUs, ready for airlines to buy and use to meet their climate commitments under CORSIA. This government decision also ensures the credits aren't double counted, one of several checks built into the system to guarantee transparency and environmental integrity. The money from the sale goes back to the country and the project developer, funding forest protection and supporting local communities. This process turns airline payments into real opportunities to channel funds for climate action that might not happen otherwise, often in developing countries, through transparent and high-integrity carbon markets. There are lots of projects that require funding, but EEUs are in short supply. So to get more projects on the market, more programs need approval by the UN. Governments must give formal permission, and new types of climate solutions should be included. CORSIA's EEUs are a trusted, verified way to compensate for emissions we can't yet eliminate, while accelerating cleaner fuels, smarter flying, and new technology. CORSIA and its EEUs help establish a liquid, transparent, and global carbon market, which is essential to scale up access to climate finance. Every EEU purchased helps fund real climate action, supports local communities, and keeps the world connected. A triple win.